I was a deviant Christian. I had got cool, but the enemy tried to hijack my life when I was still a child, but the Lord intervened. It was in university that I met the occult spiritual master. The devil has infiltrated university and academic environment with Satanism, to the point that many university teachers had joined the occult. This master saw my star and was sent by the enemy to deviate my destiny. The man came with great knowledge and seduced me into joining the occult. I wanted to become a spiritual master, and began a 6 years training where I was supposed to learn mastery and self-control. The biggest control is sexual control. When a spiritual master does not have sexual control, he cannot even become a spiritual master. The master used to tell us you must protect the sexual energy called Kundalini. Evil force can infiltrate you through women and you will fall. In terms of control, we had to learn to master our reaction, otherwise we would destroy people with the power that we were about to receive. Unless you have self-control, you will not receive power and initiation. And the master made it clear, only those who have developed mastery of their emotions and control of their impulse, that will be initiated to become a spiritual master. One day he told me, "Your brother is coming from Angola in few days. He was supposed to have an accident on the road, but we removed that accident. He will be fine." I said, "No way, my brother does not have that program of coming to visit us." 5 days later my brother arrived from Angola. He said, "I had planned this visit a long time," and I asked him, "How was your journey?" He said, "Brother, we escaped a big accident, but thank God we were spared." I understood that this master was really strong. I said, "If this master decide to make a church, it will be a really big church, for whenever he look at you, he tell you something that will happen in your life in a particular date, and it will happen the way he said it. He tell you what you dream in the night, even your date of birth." When the course began, I remember one day I was absent but other adepts follow the course. On that day I was inside the class in university when suddenly I saw him sitting next to me. No one saw how he has entered the classroom, but he was there sitting next to me and my friend could see him. Even if no one saw how he had entered the class, he was there sitting beside me to teach me what other had learned in my absence. He often injected dream in our spirit, in which were lesson, and during the day in the course he asked, "Tell us what you have dream about the element of nature." He was teaching us to enter the mind of our university professor and get the answers from the exam from his mind in order to pass the course. One day the master came to give course, but he has replicated himself 7 times, for there were 7 copy of his character standing before us. All his duplicates spoke simultaneously and asked us who among us is the real master. Some people in the class fell in coma. They could not bear this demonstration. The master was of high level, and I was flattered to be his disciple, but my destiny was compromised. Apart from the courses we had to follow to become a master, we had learned to live in a certain way, for we were trained to become master that will handle power. You cannot receive power if you are not mature. Power cannot be given to children. That's why we learn meditation, concentration and self-control. A master life is a life of sacrifice, taboo, discipline. There were taboo and obligation we were supposed to observe. If you want to become a spiritual master, there were many principles, like you cannot wake up after the sunrise. The sun cannot rise and find you on the bed sleeping, it must find you standing. Thus at 4:30 I was awake witnessing the sunrise. The commandment was to wake up early at dawn before the sunrise, begin to recite mantra and prayers in the direction of the sunrise. These are the kind of things the children of the kingdom of God are supposed to be practicing, but the children of this world seem wiser. Another principles we had to keep was paying the tithe. Even in the occult the Satanists keep the law of tithe, for it is universal law. We were taught that paying tithe protect you, raise you up and provide security. Divinity requires sacrifice. As far as spiritual masters are concerned, we paid the tithe of all. The tithe of all means that, everything that you get throughout the month you must give the 10th of its value. You must calculate the value of the item that you got and give the 10th of its value. If for example someone buy you a suit, you must evaluate the price of the suit and give the 10th of its value to the master. Whatever is given to you throughout the month was estimated, and we gave the tithe of all. Initially I asked the master if tithe was not a Christian practice. He told me it is a universal practice. If the children of darkness pay tithe, how much more those who claim to be of the light? Since there is no democracy in the world of darkness, the adepts of the devil make sure to keep the laws and pay their tithe. Every 30 and 31 of December, the Master appeared to his adepts, to pay them a visit, for on this date was held global summit in the cosmic world, where it is decided war, accident, plane crash, World Cup winner, game victory, sickness that will emerge. On the other hand, you have to understand that what people experience on the earth is what has been decided against them in the cosmic world. There are misery and calamity that happen in people's life as a result of conspiracy and plotting. They did not just happen, they were planned and executed against people's life. It's the spiritual that engender the material. There are spiritual plot. In my childhood the devil wanted me to become a traditional chief, but God protected me. The devil followed me in university, but God intervened, for no man could save me but God only. I remember after 6 years of training of 120 people, the Master made an announcement that 11 students will be initiated because they have reached mastery and control. He told me, you have excelled and reached mastery and control, you will be initiated. My wife also knew that I will become a spiritual master. I told her I am going to get initiated and my spiritual faculty will be opened. On that day when he came for initiation, we will line up. The Master look at every student with spiritual eyes, to identify the totem of the spirit that control their family. For every family on earth has a totem. A totem is a symbol, object, or spirit being that represents a group of people, such as a family or tribe. Totems can be animals, plants, or inanimate objects. Whenever the Master looked at a student, he saw the totem of his family. There are totems that are images of marine animal, forest animal, bird of the air. After watching a student, he told him, I will initiate you into marine kingdom power, because the totem of your family is an aquatic animal. Other had the totem of forest animal, meaning they were to be initiated in forest power, but my family totem was a marine animal, meaning my family was controlled by marine power. And when it was my turn to receive power, the Master brought a pot with magic items and began to do magic prayer, when suddenly I saw that there was a change in his countenance. He asked me, what is your name? Immediately I knew that it was not the Master, but an entity speaking through him. Then he asked me, what is the name of your father? I gave him the name of my father, then the name of my grandfather. Then he began to ask me the name of my ancestor that I did not know. That's when he began to tell me names of my ancestors that I never knew. And I was able to recognize these names that my distant relative carry. Finally he told me, your ancestors have agreed that we should initiate you. I said, finally, after 6 years of training I will become a spiritual master today. Then suddenly we saw a mango leaf floating and entering the room where we were and was floating around. Since we learned that a spiritual master cannot panic and scream, we should just keep cool. Whatever paranormal manifestation, we kept cool. The moment the Master took that mango leaf, to my surprise, for the first time I saw the Master panicking and he was shaking and asking what is happening. I could not see what he was seeing. He told me with a voice of gravity and severity, the one who is greater than all, told me not to initiate you. You are his servant. I said to him, Master, this initiation is all I have been waiting, and after 6 years of training how can you refuse to initiate me? I was faithful, but who is the one who told you not to do? He spoke to me with tension. The highest spirit, the most elevated egregor, forbid me from initiating you. I am talking about Jesus Christ. I was stunned, for it was the first time for him to elevate Jesus Christ. He used to tell us Jesus was a spiritual master that was taught by the 3 wise men of the East, and was taught to command the wind, but today he seems to have encountered the one who is the master of all spirits face to face, and he was agitated and in turmoil. He told me, the most powerful egregor, the master of all spirit, told me that you are his servant. He chose you to serve him before you enter the womb of your mother. You cannot insist. Get out of this place, please. Since the Master was under the shock of the rebuke of the Lord of all spirit, full of fear, he stopped the ritual and told everybody, no one will be initiated today. There won't be initiation. Everything is cancelled. Yet these 11 students have studied mysticism for 6 years. and that day the master closed the school of primordial wisdom. On that day I realized that I was a retrograde believer, and I returned home and opened my Bible to read. I said, Lord, I went to seek so-called knowledge to become a master, but after 6 years of training I am told you are the highest spirit. That's how I had received the call to serve the Lord. Pastor Hector received me and I went through deliverance, and I began to serve the Lord. A man from Islamic magic came to church seeking liberation. He said, when I step on the church I felt all the spirit that walk with me leaving. They were saying don't enter here. That's when I knew that there was something here. When this man entered the church we share the gospel with him and he received the Lord as Savior and confess his practice of magic and human sacrifice. He used to go to crossroad and cause power cut in order to do magic prayer. He confess and renounce black magic. I asked him, what is it that has caused you to give up these activities? He told me it broke by accident a magic metal and I was asked to offer a member of my family, but when I tried to sacrifice my big brother, I begged him to come and live with him, lying to him that I will find my own place later. When I joined him and I began to do everything to sacrifice him. But since he had become a praying Christian, my effort to kill him was powerless. I tried to bewitch water and food but nothing worked. I was given 100 days, and when these days expired, whenever I enter a bus there was accident. After surviving 3 accidents I decided to come here for deliverance. Beloved, when I prayed for this man he fell to the ground and an Islamic demon began to speak in his body. He told me, do you know that this man you are praying for has sacrificed even his body to me? I told the demon, on this day this man has given his life to Jesus Christ and he now belongs to Christ. During this liberation ants were coming out of his body physically and disappearing. The man was free from satanic prison. The devil has many prison when he put people. There are people unless they sleep with women they won't have peace. They are in that prison of sexuality. Those who are drug prison unless they smoke weed they become restless. Satan has prison of cigarette. There are people who are uncomfortable unless they smoke.